You had
So they came, and it was like a 1 year anniversary for them, and it was their thank you. It was wonderful.
You had a beautiful weekend.
It was spectacular.
Was there a lot of bullies?
It's complicated looking at the future.
Not yet.
No, in fact, we went to the botanical garden there,
Oh, yeah.
and they are in hardiness zone 6.5.
Right.
Which is almost like Maryland.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yes, we are 4 here.
So,
Yeah. And they tell me that up where I am, it's probably 3
the wind's blowing it.
because it's another 900 feet of elevation.
This camera and mine is on, well, Florian might be playing along.
Okay, we got 3 or 4 minutes, and I think Pat is gonna join via YouTube.
Yeah, I sent her the link for this as well, so that she can either speak up for Piper next time.
Forever hold the police friend.
I'll run through that.
From Italy,
I have no idea. I have no idea. Right. But I need. Look at that.
You're gonna be like the politicians now, you get caught
Yeah.
up in my day. Those are always the best videos anyway. The open mic videos. Oh, I've already had them. They're great. Thank you.
Bottom streets.
courtesy of Italy.
Oh, beautiful. That's what it is. So humble. I was.
It's a great department store of trees.
Which one did you go to?
We were at the one in Boston, but we've been to
So you got a-
Philadelphia and New York. We've been to both sites in New York.
Okay.
The one up by the 9/11.
Yeah.
We're foodies.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna send you my
Good.
but I mean, it can never see the right thing. You can never share it. Promise? Promise to God. Do you believe in God? Sure.
It happened when Doug walked in the room.
Okay. 1 minute in case people are.
Yeah, it's not big to begin with. Okay.
Clear your sinuses then.
It's very long, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a freshwater eel.
Yeah, no, I'm not fond of that. I'm not fond of it.
Trying that Stetson Harza.
Look, someone ate the dog that you gave me.
Study that was a proposal.
Oh,
It's a Stetson Harza, it's bound like this, it has yellow.
okay,
Just wanted to see that. Well,
One of the items you gave me
Yeah.
last week. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. we can get it.
is Florian on Kyoko?
Doug,
I don't think so.
Because
Holly's
here, so I'm thinking Florian might not be coming.
That's
right. It sounds like you had a lab.
Okay, and then it's
he
Pat.
maybe, no, not Pat yet, but I'm texting her that I sent her the meeting link.
Yeah.
Right, because she was gonna try YouTube too. Well, it's 3 o'clock, so let's begin. Let me introduce Matthew. Let me introduce Matthew Maraglio first, who is the supervisor for the water quality unit for New York State Parks. And I asked Matt to come to get a sense of what we're doing. Matt's already on the WAC, which meets on the 15th or 18th, whatever day that 15th. But I wanted to have him get a sense of what we're doing. I would think since the state park is right here and we have, we should have as much synergy as possible. So he agreed, he drove all the way from Albany to join us in this meeting. And is Pat on yet, Kyoko? No?
No.
Okay. As soon as Pat gets on, let me know, and then we'll talk to you about what came up at our last meeting that prompted my call to you. Anything you want to share with us?
No, just we're happy to be here, sign my parts to represent the facility in Limberless. I worked directly at Limberless and Albany, and today I came out of Carroll, my hometown, which is great. Nice hour, minute drive, which is beautiful on daily.
Yeah.
So thanks for getting me out of Albany. Happy to be here, and then just in the interest of full disclosure, I just want to let folks know, the agency that you got a grant from to work on the 9/11 plan on the state, I actually used to work there for the last 17 years.
Great.
So I recently transitioned to parks, so it's that parks role here, but the knowledge.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's start our meeting. Let's start with the minutes. Any want to move them? Jim, okay, any second? Any, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Abstained. Okay. That's the fastest we ever done there, that's great. Okay, I wanted just to give you an update really quickly. We had a meeting with the village, and there are some efforts afoot to try and understand the job description. Jake's been very involved, and we'll have more for you on that when the mayor returns. So I'll go into executive session at the end, and I'll explain more about that that connection. You also got the scientific advisors report. Are there any things you want to point out? Kyoko, you went up to the state park, didn't you, based on Pat's concern?
Yes, so, so I have you on the speaker. I am on my speaker while I go around. Okay, so, thanks. Oh,
This says on. Yours, this one too.
so I went to Plymouth last State Park on the 20th of September. After Pat, who is on the phone, reported that there was some order around the western side of the swimming beach. And I looked around and looked around. There were a few spots of like decaying animal or something like that in the bushy side to the land, but not close to where she was pointing out that the smell was. There were some, decaying plants on the waterline, and that had some, regular smell that I did not find myself that uncomfortable, but everyone's sense of smell is different. But then I found a pipe that is coming out into the lakeside, and it was releasing in a very steady rate, even though it's been a drought condition. And I did take a sample from it, and full disclosure, those were expired reagents left over from Jake. And I did not follow the procedure to the T because I was doing it in between meetings and stuff like that. But it had total nitrogen and total phosphorus that were kind of in line with what you find from the Shallow Brook, which is one of the higher low, but not terribly bad tributary. But interestingly, pretty much all of the total phosphorus was soluble reactive form, and then out of the total nitrogen, about 2/3 were PIN, dissolved in organic nitrogen. So, I do not know if it's a typical signature of like runoff or groundwater. I really don't know, but, just wanted to let you know that the water that coming out of the pipe was going straight into the lake.
Okay, I appreciate that question. Research of the facilities of the park and do some application.
You will do that, Matthew, for us?
I'll take a look at some of the mapping, or I might have something showing that. See what else.
Okay. Jim,
Can I ask
you
a
had,
question?
you had some history on it.
Well, yeah, when was the park built?
Uh,
Sixties, I think. Anyone know history? 1960s, I think late, late 70s. It's been, we've had this before at WFC. The septic systems, as I think there's something like 5 number, there's septic systems for different parts of the property. And it's my understanding that those are the original systems. Could be wrong. Alcat checked a few years ago. Yeah, approaching 50 years, certainly.
Yeah.
Can you just maybe put in your research or just tell us, you know, when the septic systems were put in?
Pat, can you go on mute, Pat?
Yeah, could you mute when you're not speaking? Yeah, thank you.
So yeah,
I'm not in a position to answer.
I totally understand.
Yeah, it's part of my music there.
Okay, Matthew, thank you so much. What's that?
63. But thanks.
Okay.
I do know that upgrades to the septic system there.
It sounds like
done
an
in
upgrade.
the 70s at some,
70s.
yeah. Well, beyond that, I don't know much detail, but Bill Hammond.
Sean Wood has been very, very cooperative with Al Keck, and then with Nate. And so contrary to the, septic system was, I think, replaced, and I don't have the date, but a lot more recently than when the park was first established. And from what Sean provided me, Matthew, when you get with Sean, he has all the information. The leach field is huge. It was designed and built for a much bigger usage than it appears it's currently. So, and then in regards to the Hyde Hall, bathhouse, there's a number of different collection stations, but they are all pumped up to a central septic tank that then feeds into the laterals, which are a lot more than, it's really big, huge field. So it appeared that after the last watershed management plan, one of the things that was done was to update and enlarge the septic system in the leach field at the park. There is one thing that I, in regards to what could be done additionally, is that it's a traditional set aside the pump stations where it collects and pumps up. Leach field was a standard gravity fed leach field. There had been studies about nitrogen removal, I believe in Holly, and through the installation of basically another septic tank that contains wood chips, simply that would then remove the nitrogen, but might be an opportunity for the state park to look at relatively simply upgrading the effectiveness of the leach.
Great.
Thanks.
So Matthew, we will look forward to hearing back from you whenever that.
That's fine, yeah, I'll look at some of the,
Matthew's been extremely responsive to everything we've asked him to do, and I'm grateful that he's here. Other issues from your report, Kyoko?
The lake is low, the rain didn't really recharge much. It's still going to be warm, so I think we are not totally out of the risk of, again, sporadic, very localized balloons yet.
We had one on September 15th, right?
15th and was it 18th again? Yeah.
And there was some yesterday that popped up and disappeared before I could. So there, it's just, very. That's what.
Okay, and we're still sending stuff out if we have one or suspect one, right?
I'm testing in the lab, but yes, if I can capture one, I did report the one on 18 from the field station.
I don't know what report means. Did we send something out to the email?
Yes, we sent an email to the HABs update, distribution list, and I reported it to the DC's
Okay.
mapping. So
Did everyone get it here? I did not. Okay, great. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate it so much. Okay.
13, may I just ask Matthew a question?
Of course.
At Bill's subcommittee meeting about 2 weeks ago, we indicated that we weren't sure of the relationship about jurisdiction between WSC and the state park. And also what inspection intervals there would be for the septic systems, and if that information would be shared back with the WSC. So if you would add that to your list of things to find out for us, you kill two birds with one stone. Thanks.
So how do I indicate that, Bonnie, again, please?
Well, it was, we wanted to find out the jurisdiction relationship between WSC and the state park.
Okay.
Particularly in regard to the frequency of inspections. And if they reported back just to the state, or if they reported to WSC as well.
Okay, or both.
Or both.
Oh, yes, right,
Yep.
right. Okay.
The question is, in the watershed, apply to state agency action?
I think, Bill, that's what we were talking about. And then also what the frequency of your inspections would be.
Do you inspect that area? Like we're inspecting the septic systems certain frontage. So just, I guess, wondering if that's happened, because we don't do those. Do we know?
I think we thought that we didn't.
Number of septic systems on the lake that the state specs, like the hotels, things of that nature.
Oh, the speed.
Speedies, yeah, permitted. Glimmer Glass doesn't have speedies.
Oh, so we should be inspecting it?
Yeah, now, that's.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Okay,
So the one that's actually state property, yeah, that comes in the same. People that do it, that simply done, I just don't know about the park itself, because the state property is different than a hotel, it's not.
Right.
right, okay, well. Would you like more of us? And not only that, but, right,
Our whole agenda.
thank you, our whole agenda is that. Right? Okay, thank you, thanks for all of that, Matt, appreciate that. Okay, so again, I'll talk about the meeting with the village that has those two bullets there, at the top of the agenda, but. Guidelines for committee we'll talk about that later too. Public meetings, business and homeowners. So we thought we needed a public meeting for the business community and the homeowners on the lake. So I'm leaving that with Amy and Jim's committee to set up, and maybe we'd be able to do one before Jim goes south. But I'll leave that up to you, unless maybe you want to do it in the spring is fine too. But just to update us on when you think, figure out the time. We still, but with the WSC still wants to do those two extra ones where we won't have anchor QEA involved. Speaking of anchor QEA, I spoke with, and as did Jacob, I spoke with Wendy today, and Jacob spoke with her the other day. We want to make sure that the amount allocated for consultation for the meeting component of the budget remains within what they budgeted, and it has been a little bit over. And it's no different than it was the last time we talked about this, but it's still a bit of a concern. So some thoughts that Wendy had that might be helpful is don't email Wendy unless you, or copy her, unless you really have to. And then let her know what it is you'd like her to do. So she doesn't have to read through and figure out. Every time she reads through an email, that's money. The other thing is to keep the conversation or the activity with the committees and her absolutely at what you need. Jacob and I talked today about whether we should set up an approval before the committees talk to the consultants. And we hate to micromanage, but it may be necessary if we're continuing to have issue with that. So I wanted to give you a sense of that, just to be, put that on your radar, things we need to be cautious about as we go to the plan. Thoughts about that? Questions about that? Jacob?
Yeah, if I can just add real quick,
Please.
I think that's a good idea. I certainly don't want to get in the way, people feeling like I'm micromanaging things, but I do think that like we're at a point where that might have to start coming out of other parts of the budget. So we do want to be cautious about it. So maybe it's just like a first step. If people can just CC me when they're talking to her. And again, we want to make sure there's no redundancy in communications. But I can certainly keep track of that with Wendy as long as I would be good what we're talking to her about.
Great, thanks very much. So we'll keep you up to date on that as we go along, but it is just the meaty part of the budget that's challenging, and you don't want her to have to take away from other parts of that budget to make that whole. Survey questionnaire, 158. Again, not quite a record, but they'll
You want to break a record?
I do. I know. I'd like to be an overachiever.
I know.
I know.
I like, as soon as there's 100, Jim's, yes.
We're gonna get some kind of, or some kind of, how people responded, there's a number of.
Oh.
Where you just. So that eventually.
Yeah, she's gonna, as I understand it, I think she's gonna pull together an analysis of those questionnaires or anchor QEHs. I think she'll let us know she's ready for that. So that's really amazing. Oh, that's great work. I think, did you all see the email that, I can't remember who sent it around now, Kyoko's video?
Yes.
Wait, that's famous. She's famous. She's a movie star. That is really amazing. And I think to be out there with obvious talent and competence in this little tiny village is pretty amazing. So Kyoko, we thank you for your work on that.
It showed really nicely that what's going on underneath the water, so I was really glad that they could do that.
Yeah, and I could understand all of it. So you really spoke at a 5th grade level. I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, the journalists were wonderful. Yeah, they were University of Cambridge journalism grads, really sharp people.
Yeah, they were very, very excited about it as well. We got an email from Jim Dalton from OCCA. No. Oh, was it his role as what? That's 2000?
Jim is not our president. Donna Vogler is our president.
I'm sorry.
No problem. People
Asking,
do that all the time.
Okay. asking to sort of be in the loop, and so I incorrectly told him Amy is at each meeting, which doesn't matter to him. I'll see him.
Well, it does because we are the partner board, so he was totally fine with that. He's not upset that I'm here, and I told him I would share anything that.
Oh, you already talked.
I did.
All right,
We're
so
all
all
good.
is okay.
All is okay, even though we're not in the same org. No problem.
I'll see him.
We can still share.
Okay. I wanted to just do a little update with soil and water. I think Christos did get back to us about ideas he had about ways in which he could assist. And I think Rhea did as well. Do you sense?
Tentatively, we're gonna meet Friday. Christos had some family issues he had to deal with in the morning, so I don't know when. I emailed him and asked him if I can get together and talk, but no. Sort of going with that. And I could just stick in, I had talk with, Scott.
Pick one.
Yeah, and he, had, this perspective of how you go with the 9E plan. Seemed a little different to me than what I thought we needed. Sort of have a group of preliminary data that, you know, sort of say, we found this much, we needed, you know, we needed to go. This was more of identifying the issues and explaining why they're important to the lake and the communities that I live. I'm still not quite sure where I got all that going, but, so I think, I said to everybody, he asked, he said, what you ought to do is sit down and figure out everything that is a threat. And identify that, and then work from that to what you need to have. And a lot of that's already been done, with all the work we've done with it, and what they. Data information about activities.
And you did that. You sent this
Yeah.
out to all of us,
Yeah.
a list of those.
So I didn't pretend like, there was a number of things, I didn't put anything in about the dam, I don't think that's really an issue. Even though we have global people complaining about water levels, but I was trying to get the sort of the topics, and I'm sure there are things that I didn't think about in the time I had to sort of try and pull this together, but I thought it would be worth getting it out now and let people look at it, see what you think the threats are, and then make sure you've got sort of all those bases covered to address at least in some way. Now, some of them are sort of dreams, like a late law for voting activity and stuff like that, which you'd have to get all of these municipalities together. And I have no idea what the legal issues would be from a state's perspective. If all the communities said, well, we want the vote speed to be something or other, or we want certain parts of the lake that have a treatment differently than others, or whatever we thought was important for the health of the lake. But be interested to see what other people think about it. But
So the meeting Friday is.
the meeting was Friday is with I'm sorry,
Christos?
it's with Christos and with Ria. And I was going to talk to him about the two ponds that I thought we sort of had that ready to go, that we could do something about it sooner. And what I have the impression that there's a bunch of windows closing right about now about grant deadlines.
So you're hoping Christos,
Yes, I don't know
Can
whether
help.
we missed them, and it may be that they get included the next round, or I don't know enough about the granting process to see where to go with that, but
Jacob, do you want to attend that meeting?
Yeah, and I,
Oh, you have it. Okay, great. Okay, good.
is that a definite then, Bill?
well, this is for Friday. Well, Christos wrote me, it sounded like there's something going on that he really needs to be at it, whether we need to reschedule or not, but as soon as I know.
Great.
Great.
Okay, and any other of your committee members, Bonnie, if you want to attend too, of course.
Yeah, but
Okay,
If any of you have any documents that you would like the feedback from everyone, we can still circulate the stationary copy, but we would like to switch to using Google Drive as much as possible so that we can actually see other people's comments, so that we are not entering, duplicate comments. So I guess your list and also Doug's comment about it was circulated by email today. So if Jacob could upload them to Google Drive for the WSC, no, that's 9-element. Yeah, 9-element
yeah.
folder.
Well, we have
and send it to-
WSC meeting file or Google setup and the 9E setup, so we can do either one really, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I think that WSC has the voter membership. No, the, nine element farm.
Yeah,
Order would be the
yeah.
better one, yeah.
So
Which,
I was just gonna say, so I haven't been looking at that folder regularly. Is the expectation that we all should look at it regularly, or do we send a message and say, look in that folder? I don't know how do you want to manage that?
So when you upload something, there is a way to invite people to, comment or edit or, or you can just make a link out of it and then just email the entire ODL, WSC and other partners.
I will, because I saw the look on your face, I will send out a screen directions, a little video on how to do both of those things.
Great. I could use
you'll
that.
probably still see the look on it.
Right, but hey, at least you have something that you can pause, rewind me and do it again.
Yeah.
And then if you have questions after that, I'll put my cell phone number there, so you guys can just call.
All right. BMP update, we're feeling like we're getting response and developing a list of BMPs from the past. Do you think, Doug? Do you feel confident about that? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, and all right, so do we carry this on the agenda, or that worry is sort of, we're not worried about that right now?
The thing that is missing is the NRCS, agriculture, or FDA, whatever. They're in the same building that the soil and water district is. But they're right now, they're under, someone's out on maternity leave, another one retired. And the BMPs that they do, my understanding is they are not part of what goes into the CAST system.
Okay,
So those BMPs are unknown at this point. So,
okay, but they could be known when people return.
well, they,
We're not sure.
yeah,
Yeah. We're
yeah.
hopeful.
So there's, that office needs to be, I'm trying to remember his name, it's down in Bolton. Only comparable, supposedly covering the wide area while Elizabeth Fish is on maternity leave, and Janine Barter's is retired.
Retired. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind.
The response I've gotten is that because of armor confidentiality, they are hesitant to give you specific information.
They're getting it out.
Yeah, but anyway, so apparently there's both in the CAS system, as well as our understanding of what has been done. There's a void there because of that NRCS not reporting, unless they do a BMP in conjunction with the soil and water district. It's not reported in the CAS system, so that the information that I've gotten from CAS in regards to specific BMPs and looking back at Watershed, it's just what soil and water district reports.
Okay.
That's interesting, the NRCS, don't they get a lot of federal funding and therefore like obliged to feed data into CPB, the Chesapeake Bay program?
Just told you what
Yeah, it's
More than you know. More than you know. But yeah,
tomorrow is the Upper Susquehanna Watershed Forum, and I'm hoping to capture some folks and try to get a little bit deeper. I no guarantees, obviously, but trying to get some sort of information, both with the Upper Susquehanna as well as if I'm gonna try to capture Tony at lunch, but I can't guarantee it, darn. So wish me luck.
good luck.
Yeah, right.
Amy went to listened to the CAS seminar and sent us some information from that. Thank you, Amy. We should all be familiar with that because that's,
It's a really cool tool if you're nerdy.
well, but it's also it's something we should know as the WSC about what that is and what it contains and why it's important. So,
I sat through this last one. I couldn't fill out these forms.
So it's
Well,
not
that's
something
okay.
for us to fill out. Yeah, it's just more to know it's there and the data is available. Yeah, it's not for the average person to fill out. Don't worry about that part. Yeah, that's okay.
Not to worry. Okay, Jim, I'm thinking still haven't gotten the request from the village, 10,000.
No, I haven't heard, no,
Okay,
you know, I'm not gonna ask her.
yeah. Community Foundation meeting debrief, we had a great meeting. I thought it was a really good, small but powerful group. And I think we showed well, as my mother would say. And thank you, Jeff, for making that happen. I really felt that the sophistication, you know, of what we're doing and the people involved, really, I thought that really came through. So thank you, Jeff, for your leadership there. Anything to add, Jeff, at all, or?
No, I think your point is well taken, and I think kind of some key builders to the serious work that's going on for not necessarily a direct connection there. So the feedback I got. Also just connect that I sent the survey out on our social media after the meetings.
Maybe we'll get more. Maybe we'll be the
And
best.
that
of
helped
the
a
year.
lot, I tell you, that bumped it up by like 40 responses, because we were at 110
Yeah,
at your months.
and then the Cooperstown,
Great.
Cooperstown Country Club just sent it out with that,
And I sent mine out today as well, the first, and we wanted to have a last push, so it went out with our 2,500 today.
maybe we'll be the best.
Oh.
So we still might get it, for team, still might get there.
Okay, all right, Jake, you and I did talk about this, so my apologies. When do you think we might have a sense of your view of the septic stuff?
Sure, I have been working on that, and just so people are aware of my overall activities, since I started 2 weeks ago. I have gained office space, which was your step.
Yay.
But I have been, you know, in contact with people in terms of the 9E plan. So as Christine mentioned, I talked to Wendy. I talked to Andrew Brainerd, who's the director over at UFI. So I got an update on their work. I know Andrew quite well. And I also have been working on the inspection stuff. So I've sort of looked at the database, and it certainly is the case that there's sort of varied certification lengths, regardless of the treatment type. And I'm sure from talking to Al that that's for specific considerations he made, the time the person was there and so forth. But I really am trying to take a look at that, but I also have a strong focus because I personally would like to get out and, you know, engage in some inspections with his expertise before the end of the year, which is a very limited window. So I have talked to Al, and it is certainly my plan that I'm sort of look for some low-hanging fruit and some inspections that are long overdue, and just contact people to see who might get a quick response. So
Great,
that's sort of my first priority, and I should have an update for you.
good. And then I think too, you're getting together with Pat on the map and all of that,
Yep.
data, so that'll be good. And it'll give us a sense of sort of what's happening with the septic situation. Some things, I think we'll learn some things that we didn't know. And then we'll move on for that. Ashley Seyfried, there's a meeting next week that Ashley is pulling in the Susquehanna, blah, blah, blah. I have it written down.
Basing program or something?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. She's pulling in that group, so hopefully that we'll be able to benefit from that, but Ashley has really tried to push them to go north, if you will, and figure out how they can help us. The watershed characterization update is not ready yet. It should be ready. I don't know. I don't have a date from when it will be ready, but it is not ready yet. Any update on the grant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe.
Nothing.
So we did receive information back from the small watershed grant. That was the grant that we included the funding for BMP work in, direct BMP work on doing that due diligence and preliminary work. That was not successful. But we have not heard back on the Chesapeake Wild grant. That one had much less to do with, you know, it had nothing to do with direct BMP work, but it would fund someone to still be the liaison between Otsego watershed, Candidago watershed, and Butternut Valley. So there's still something that's happening, and that one's still in the works. So positive thinking in my head, because those usually are announced a week. You know, so if you fail one and fail both, you usually get it within a week of each other. It's been more than a week.
Okay.
So everyone send out your positive vibes. I don't know if that actually works in grant writing, but let's think positive.
It could.
At least we still have that collaborative person, like it's a human who will be able to, you know, keep everyone chatting.
And connect, it's great to be able to.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Right, having a water connecting human. That's what we call ourselves, so, you know.
That's my official job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And because, well, when we originally put it in, obviously you weren't here because you've only been here 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So what the modification would be, because it was for, it's not actually like funds to pay something, it's more for an actual human, that it would still be helping with all the communication pieces and still we'd have to look at the divide and conquer, but let's think positive that that's the real thing, you know. Hopefully within a week or two, come back. Excited.
Yes,
So think positive.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, Amy had found someone to do styrofoam wrapping, but too late, yes, in the season?
Oh, yeah, it's too late this year.
Yeah.
Ducks are coming in.
Yeah, docs are coming in. What I think it could be good, Jim, though, is maybe we look at some, as part of like education stuff, even our communications, whether like, how do we look with the future and maybe talk about it?
Yeah, and you know, Kyoto put out a really good article a
Mhm.
year ago, 2 years ago on styrofoam.
Yeah, originally probably 3 or 4 years ago, and then there was a like rerun of it in the local newspaper.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we could kind of,
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on, we have a board meeting on Saturday, put it on, there. So you're saying you have someone to do the work. But so what
The wrapping.
does that entail?
I've never wrapped a doc personally, so I'm not 100% sure like myself.
Well, I thought it might actually be done while it's out of the water.
I don't know. So this person seemed like was willing to do it while they're in the water. I have no idea how. They're an adventuresome soul. But that's, you know, when we do a lot of our work, there's like one real big champion of certain things. But yeah, I think that I have no personal idea. I don't live on a body of water and I've never owned a dock.
Amy, what might that cost? Do you have any ballpark? Just say you had a couple of blocks of styrofoam the size of a cooler or something.
Right, it really depends on how we're wrapping it, what we're doing, like it needs some conversation around it, but they were willing to help out. So I think that it's probably best for us to look at best practices, decide what we think is the most scientifically, you know, because it's our, keep trying to look through money.
If honestly, if boats are coming out of the water and we can do this, so that we know there's styrofoam issues in the lake.
Yeah.
We're finding it everywhere and it's bad. So if there could be a way that we can do this, now that boats are out, that would be an amazing.
Yeah, while the docks are out, is it easier? I have no idea. This is really a
Yeah, we
research
have a
type thing.
fall newsletter that's going out in a month. So
Okay.
we can talk Saturday, meeting, if there's something that make people aware. Sure, we'll discuss it.
Yeah, actually, I have a very long drive to the Watershed Forum tomorrow, and we'll have my water person as well as Butternut Valley in the car with me, so Butternut Valley last, so we'll brainstorm this.
So let's figure out what the heck this is.
Well,
And
you have-
get a really rough ballpark, but
Yeah, what do
a
you?
range, you know, we're talking $1,000 a dock or.
Right, exactly, so we will see, one of them is actually one of my staff.
I don't know how prevalent styrofoam floats are on the docks. Anybody know? Like the country club has floating docks. I don't know what makes them float. You know, whether it's
Right.
cans.
Yeah.
Old, you know, oil drums or.
Yeah.
I think there's much higher. I think there's a fair amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do not see a square like black plastic boxes or blue barrels or something, it's usually styrofoam around here.
Yeah, they sell them at a Bruce Hall.
Yeah, and so much lighter. Who wouldn't do it? That's.
And some are coated. Now, to be fair, the ones
Yes.
at Bruce Hall, I think I've seen, that look like a beer keg or a barrel. Those are coated with plastic. Then they're gonna hurt anything. What hurts you is just regular old styrofoam.
Yeah.
that you get in an Amazon box.
Yeah.
That flakes off. Okay, so
It also can fall off in big chunks, so I was
Exactly.
paddling down the Susquehanna and there was one like this big, so I just
towed it behind me till I.
So I think it's important enough for us to figure out, because we've had homeowners, express concern about this.
Yeah, we'll see what we can find out. Hey, I'm going to the right place tomorrow. I'm sure someone there knows how to wrap a dog.
Right.
Just drop me an email with, thanks.
Okay, number of septics replaced, Kevin Musser got back to Jacob, I think he said 5, so.
Yeah, 5 were on the list.
And we have was there a final round? Or something?
Yeah, so he said that funding had just been approved by the governor for a 5th round of the
That
program,
was it.
and he was gonna provide us some more detail once that was advanced. So, very helpful.
Yeah, and that's another place where we want to really let the people around the lake know,
Definitely.
you know. Alert, another round, you can still get in on this. And if there are folks around the lake that Al or, well, Chris didn't really do inspections, but if Al could tell us, geez, I'm really worried about, we could maybe talk to those people, write to those people and say, look, there's a 5th round, maybe you'd be
Yeah.
interested, I don't know, something like that. Okay, and then I just did some update on the pending list, just wondering where the knotweed thing is. Silt and sand organism update, Florian was gonna find out, Holly, whether there were issues with the silt and sand.
I did look that a little bit, it is a different type of sampling and processing than I have been doing. I changed the focus of those studies which is the one someone had sent a link about, so there's something about toxins in the sand along the shore, sediment, and what risk there might be there, and how long the toxin stays there. And the studies that I had seen were done along Lake Erie and portions of that lake where there is a tremendously higher amount of cyanobacteria and toxins. So I think the risk here is pretty low. That said, I haven't measured anything there. So if that's something that's really a concern, especially along some beaches, 3 Mile Point, not Perry Springs, because it's so rocky, but we can look more into that next year. But it seemed to me like that was more of a risk in areas that have really extreme events.
Yeah.
That we have.
But
That's my first thing.
Yeah. I think that the issue was that there was some research that had been found in sand and silt, and A, what do we know about it as scientists? I guess that's the first thing, and then B, do we want to at least test to due diligence at where we really think things aren't that great, so just let us know. I mean, you sort of have.
Into it a little bit more, my first reaction was that it's not likely a major concern here, but I can.
But I think a couple comments
Yeah,
you're right, it's not a major concern, but in terms of the 9E process.
Yeah.
Hasn't silt been identified and sediment is kind of a prime.
Okay, so I was thinking this was related to, when there's a bloom.
it is.
Okay.
It is.
Swimming area?
Yep, you're
Okay,
correct.
so toxin, that would be kind of
Okay,
a residual.
Or toxin in the silt.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, if I could maybe just make a comment or an announcement. I'm happy to say that Otsego Lake Association has approved funding for a intern next year. So we had a request from Florian about a month ago. We sent it out to our board. They approved it. So we're gonna have an intern. DFS gonna have an intern. And we gotta discuss on Saturday what that intern's gonna do. But one of the ideas floated by Florian was a sediment research as it pertains to the 9E process. So, but you know, there's other ideas. But anyway, we're gonna have, there will be a person, a young student that will be able to do a research project next summer. So.
Wow, thank you,
Yeah, so-
OLA.
Yeah, so we're really excited. I'm really excited for the science, but really for helping a young person.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Kyoko, Kyoko, you need to be in that conversation.
of course, she's gonna lead it. Yeah. It's on our agenda to discuss what that person is gonna do. I'd like to see it just associated with 9E, but we'll.
What would be the barrier to it not being I mean, would someone say, no, we can't do that?
No, but there's other things, there's invasive plants and animals, there's lots of. This will be similar to like what the students do at the annual meeting. They put the boards up and do a study, so.
And that's also constrained by what kind of study and do we have the equipment and do we have the faculty to mentor that person?
Right.
So.
Yeah, it
But we
has to
can,
fit.
have some sort of, preference about what that intern is going to do.
We want it to fit with our mission statement, but also with BFS leadership, what they can, like you say, what they can, administer, and
Okay,
we'll let you know.
all right.
Before we leave the sand issue, I just want to comment that the two things about it that I saw in the article, that was, a lot of it was actually in the newspaper article, so, you can find the original article. I couldn't download it because I had to have a university, position for that journal to allow me to do it, but there are points for two things. One is that they last in the sand a good deal longer than they appear to in the water. And the second is that they're considerably higher, they're more concentrated in that. And I think that the risk is more people just stumbling into it at the beach, or a dog chewing the foam that gets in that. And it's more of a educational issue than it is a real threat for intelligent the dogs. But I think it's worth testing and see if maybe it only happens in Nigeria with the amount. I mean, they have half a lake they get blown in.
Yeah.
Stuff compared to what we've got, so.
But we wouldn't want to have a worry and find out and say, it's not that bad, and find out next year it's an issue, so.
Yeah,
So
that
let's-
would also change the way people use the lake. So
Yeah.
many people say, oh, the lake condition is not great, let's just, lounge around and, and then during that time, kids could be, playing with sand and then lick their fingers and dogs, doing things and it's just toxic if the sand has a lot of it.
Trust but verify, yep. Okay, knotweed, any update, Amy and Yoko?
So the grant that we heard back from, the small watershed grant, was also that knotweed research project. The group that was excited about the knotweed research project doesn't want to give up yet. But we haven't, so we're still trying to find ways to do this. It's just probably gonna be much smaller scale.
Yeah.
Because it was going to include, actual funding for a research. To do the research, so it's now gonna be a little bit more. Who knows, it might become a community science, whatever, we're still trying to get more community stewardship groups together on how do we look through that from our perspective. But we haven't talked through anything since the last time we talked. Do you have anything else you wanted to, about knotweed that you've been working on?
No, I have not been working. on
Okay,
it.
yeah, so, we were waiting, and we just got,
Yeah.
like I said, a week ago, just got the
Okay,
no,
that's
so we
fine.
will.
Then
We're back to the drawing board on that one.
And Holly, the only other thing is that Matt was gonna compare the report he did some time ago with the tributary report by the Corps of Engineers. And just ask him if he's still planning on comparing that and telling us or not.
Okay, I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay. All right, so I think next I did,
Person, if I could.
yeah, please.
Thanks. It's good to be back. And we're in the last quarter of the calendar year. And the report under Public Health Law 1100 is due before January 31st for calendar year 2025. And I'm just wondering if you could inquire if the WSC is responsible for collecting the data and filing that report, or is it Jacob, or is it the village? So that we're really clear about whose responsibility that is and what role, if any, the WSC has.
Okay, very good. I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And also, as we mentioned, the last quarter, I will be on sabbatical next semester. And I would like to have a transition of the online meeting running. Luckily, we have the YouTube already, so it's just a matter of running some sort of meeting and app and have the chance for the WSC members or the team members to speak up because the YouTube viewers cannot.
So that's live, we're on live YouTube,
Yeah,
and which is always.
So you can watch and listen via live streaming on YouTube, and that's open to anyone because it's a public meeting, but the members who are usually here in person, if they are online, they cannot speak up through YouTube channel.
Don't want to guarantee anything, but it might be something that if we're successful as wild, maybe that person could do that. I don't know. Just put it out there.
well, I guess. So the system was set up today by Mitch and Jenna. I think while you're on sabbatical, that's the best we're gonna have. Yeah,
Okay,
people-
well-
People can't, if people can't listen through YouTube or be here. I see,
I don't currently know how to do that, but I think I can work with them to make sure
Okay.
we can facilitate that while you're on
Okay,
sabbatical. Definitely.
Yeah, it's just like running something like this without the camera. It could be just done through a regular laptop. And somebody just needs to be monitoring, somebody speaking up or, typing a chat
Okay.
message and relay that information or play that audio through the laptop speaker.
Okay. Sounds pretty straightforward. Yeah, I can definitely do that.
all right, thank you, Jacob, I appreciate that. Okay, I think we're kind of done with the agenda-ish. I have not heard back from Doug Bauer, but I think he's, no, I shouldn't say that. He just wrote 2 days ago and said that he has been talking with Florian and he's fine with how the 9E is going. So I think any further involvement by the Clark entities is essentially where it is now. Anything else we need to bring up before executive session?
You have a replacement for the Village of Cooperstown representative.
You?
Do you have him? That's a question.
No, I did ask that last, remember we met last week? Last third, no, it was. I did ask and we did not have them. So, recommendations have been made.
Oh, good, okay.
I only write that down.
And I think, Matthew, could you give me your email address? I'll send you the Sean. As Sean would provide.
We're old, Matt, and we need a piece of paper.
We write some.
So I think we'll go into executive session. I'll ask Doug to stay. We're going to, and I wanted to mention, Bonnie brought up the idea of doing an acronym list because we use so many acronyms. And so I think we're gonna start.
And it was actually Pat's idea in the spring to either limit the use. And I thought, well, maybe if we had a cheat sheet
That's a
that
great idea.
we could have at meetings. And then also we'd know what organizations we're talking about.
Volunteering to put it together.
Yes, she is.
But we're teams.
Regina's volunteering you.
No, she said the communications committee would.
See, that's what I was checking on there. I'm like, hold on. That's yeah, I think that's Jim and I.
I thought a clap sounded duck made.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, so here's what I can do. OPCA has an acronym list, and we can start there.
Yes.
How about that? And we'll put it on the drive.
Yep.
And then we'll work on it together. Go team. Now I think
All right.
you're
Even be
gonna
in the
say
90 plan.
Yeah,
Ended.
yeah, as an appendix. Absolutely. So I'll put it in the Google Drive and then send it to everyone to
Okay.
share. And we can all add what we know. Let's
Yes.
co-create this thing. You will have to stay for executive session, so email me with times so that,
Anytime, just email me, whatever.
oh, I'll email you. I'm probably gonna, my laptop.
Jacob.
Either way's fine, I don't know.
So I will go to the office, plug it back in, and then I will. What do?
You're gonna turn that